So you're considering moving to Jacksonville, Florida. I'm gonna show you some negatives about this huge city that I wish I would have known about when I moved here. It would have impacted where I bought my home and made some other decisions, and just some things in general that I think people should be aware of. My name is Travis. I'm a local veteran realtor here down in Jacksonville. And if you are looking to make a move to Jacksonville, I would love to help you make a smooth transition. You can contact me in my description, but we're gonna jump straight into it. The first thing we're going to talk about is the transportation and mode of commuting here in Jacksonville. And so you're going to have I-95, which is going to run down the middle. You're going to have 295, which basically is like a big loop. And then you have I-10, which is going to be north to east. It's going to go downtown area. So I pretty much live on the most western part of Jacksonville. And I was going to school full time on the eastern part over by the beaches. There's Kaiser University over there. And it would take me about 55 minutes or so to get to class every single day and home. And this is with traffic. So it would take a good chunk of my day just to get on the other side of town, which is pretty crazy considering it's just one city. But Jacksonville is a huge city. So when you're really thinking about like where you're gonna work or where you want your kids to go to school, stuff like that, you should really consider the fact that you're gonna have to like take them and you're gonna be driving pretty far, right? So if you want them to go to St. John's schools or whatever it may be, and you have to take them to the school, then think about that as well. And number two is gonna be the amount of bad drivers that are here in Jacksonville. For some reason, people come here and they really don't know how to drive. I don't know what it is. And we're one of the largest cities in America in terms of uninsured motorists. And the next thing is a positive. We have a large military community here. As a veteran, I love to be near the base. I love to be close to where I can go to the commissary, the PX, all that good stuff on the west side. So we're gonna have NAS Jax, you're gonna have Mayport. So it just kind of depends where you're stationed, really, where you gotta go to work. I have a friend who lives across the street that's actually active duty in the Navy. He goes to Mayport every day. He tells me it's about 55 minutes from here. And like I said, I'm on the very western part of the city. So it's still doable no matter where you get stationed. But if you're in the military, you're a veteran, it's very nice to be close to a base. And also, you have the PX and the commissary as well. The next thing is that Jacksonville has the largest system of parks and trails in the country. There's over 80,000 acres and 400 parks here. And so tons of things to go walk, trails, kayaks, all that good stuff. They actually have 7 state parks and 2 national parks here. So there's tons of fun stuff to go walk around and do. You can go hiking, all that good stuff. So that's something that is really good for me. I like to go be outside. So if that's something you like to do, if you like to do other things besides the beach, you can go hiking, you can go to trails, and just spend time kayaking as well. And another thing I like to touch on when I'm talking to people is hurricane season. I was living down in Tampa for a little while when I was younger, and the hurricanes there were terrible. We'd had to evacuate constantly, even though the hurricane had never really hit the city, but it would still be a really bad storm. Here in Jacksonville, you get a storm, but it's nothing crazy. It's just a reason to stay home, watch movies, play video games with your significant other, whatever it is, hang out with your family, have a board game night. And I really enjoy those here in Jacksonville because you could just relax. You get to take a day off or a weekend off. And it's nothing bad, knock on wood, but I haven't experienced anything bad yet in terms of hurricanes here. It's normally just a storm that breaks up by the time it gets here. Another issue that a lot of people seem to have is going to be mosquitoes, pollens, and insects. I personally have never dealt with this. I've owned a property here for the past 4.5, 5 years. I spray my property every single month by myself, so it's free. It costs me $20 for the can, and I spray once a month. You're only supposed to spray every 6 months, but I just do it once a month just to be safe. But I've never experienced any issues at all. So depending on where you live, I also don't live near any still water or anything like that. My community is real clean, so like I said, I guess it depends where you live, but something to be aware of if you're coming here, something to really think about is maybe potentially hiring some kind of pest control to come out and take care of your house. Something that I really do like about Jacksonville is that every little area or town kind of feels like its own city. There's something there for everyone. There's a Target, there's an Ultra, Walmart, Publix, whatever. You don't really have to leave that area. That's something that I was very surprised with because I'm from Oklahoma, a small city, and you have to kind of go to the city to do anything, right? Here you have everything within, a 20-25 minute drive. There's everything near you. You don't even have to go out to the other part of town unless you want to go to the beach or St. John's Town Center. For me, I want to go to Barnes & Noble. As you can see, I have a lot of books by me. I have to drive to the other side of town. That's mainly my factor. If I would have known that, I probably would have moved to the south side. But I don't think that a lot of people, really think about that as well. Another downside is that you're really car dependent here, and that goes along with, the bad drivers, the insured motorcyclists, your insurance is going to be up. But to get around the city, to go do things on the other side of the city, you need a car. It's going to take you a while to get there. That is probably the worst part of it for me, is that the bus transportation sucks here. It just is what it is. I haven't enjoyed any part of it. I've taken the bus twice and it's been a terrible experience for me. So you definitely need a car. So prepare for a car if you're going to come to Jacksonville. Another cool little plus is going to be St. John's Town Center. So St. John's Town Center is going to have all the cool name brands, Tesla, Apple, Gucci, Barnes & Nobles, big one for me. It's going to be a nice little like restaurant area where you can walk around with your family, go shopping, hang out for the day, whatever it is. They have like Dick's Sporting Goods. They have a bunch of different movie theaters over there and stuff like that. And that's another thing I like about Jacksonville is we have a good assortment of movie theaters, and they're really nice. I haven't had to complain about any single movie theater, and I love going to the movies as well. So movie theaters are a plus. St. John's Shopping Center is a plus. There's really no nightlife here. So if you're trying to, go out to the club every weekend, stuff like that, that's more of like a Tampa thing, I feel like personally. Here in Jacksonville, you don't really have that as much. It's more, in my opinion, more like a family focused, like type of retirement thing where you come and you want to focus on your family, live life, get them educated. There's some really good schools here. So nightlife is not a big deal here, which unfortunately for a lot of people is a turnoff. They're working on the downtown area to make it nicer. Hopefully they bring a little bit of a nightlife, but as of now, not too much. Another good thing about Jacksonville is there's a lot of free events here that you can just kind of go to and hang out at. And so we have the River City Marketplace. So this is every Saturday from 10 or 11 to 3 p.m. And this is pretty much people hang out, they sell food, they sell items, whatever it is. You can go for music and you just have like a good time, a good vibe, all that good stuff. And so every first Wednesday of the month, they're also going to do art downtown here in Jacksonville, where you can just kind of walk through the art galleries and buy, some food, walk through, have a good time with your family, go on a date, whatever it is. And I think that's really cool. We're also right next to St. Augustine, which is, known for their art galleries. It's known for being like the oldest fort in the country. And it's tons of museums, tons of fun stuff to do, a good weekend getaway or just a day if you're trying to go on a date with your significant other. I recommend it. I've been there multiple times. Another thing to think about is going to be there's no state income tax. However, this kind of counteracts because you also have to pay higher interest more than likely with your car unless you come from like Atlanta or a big city or something like that. But this is going to be nice because you also are below the national average of housing costs and cost to live here in Jacksonville. It's pretty good. I haven't had any complaints, especially coming from Tampa. It's very cheap here, in my opinion. Another great piece of Jacksonville is going to be the Jacksonville Zoo and Botanical Gardens. So this is going to have over 2,000 animals, over 120 acres. It's really cool. It's really nice. It's super fancy. I like going there. I love walking around. It's a great time. I recommend it for anyone that has kids. It's a nice day to just kind of walk around and you can kind of lose yourself in the vastness of the zoo. And it's a beautiful experience and it's fun to hang around, and they do some really cool things in there for the kids as well. And then we also have Friendship Fountain, which is a fountain which is going to put on a show at, I believe, 8 and 8:30 and 9 almost every single day, depending on the water issues and stuff like that. But it syncs up with music. It's really cool, like a light show. It's super neat, something cool to take your significant other to, a nice little date that you could just walk around, maybe get some food and enjoy the show. And we also have USS Orlick, which is a retired Navy ship that is now a museum, which is really cool to go walk around the boat and just go see, all the things that people do, all the spaces they lived in, how many people could fit on it. It tells you fun facts, stuff like that. And my name is Travis. That's going to be the end of the video. I appreciate you for watching. And if you are considering moving to Jacksonville, I would love to help you with the smooth transition here. Contact me in my bio description below. And I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much and take care.